Yes, this is Julio Martinez. You are listening to Arts in Review. And as I said, we're showcasing two productions. I have the creators. I have one of the creators in studio. The other is stuck on the freeway. She'll be here soon. And the complete cast. And the complete cast of this one is one person. Maddie Forrest is the creator. It's Rectangles. And I couldn't quite figure out whether it was a clown show, an opera, or a bizarre and brilliant creations of Maddie Mutations, your aunt's stage voice.
Yes, it's all of the above.
How did this come about?
Oh, well, so I've been a singer for a long time, and I've been in bands, and, you know, for a long time I've struggled with people-pleasing behaviors, as I'm sure a lot of us are, and I found it hard to describe what it feels like to be a people-pleaser. And I came upon this very strange but sincere metaphor that it feels a lot like shoving blocks down your throat and trying to consume them and realizing that they just become stuck in your belly, stuck in your bowels, and it's hard to get rid of them.
So, are you self-directed?
I'm self-directed, yeah.
And you're co-produced by Cleo Herman.
Yes, Cleo Herman. Yes.
At the Los Angeles LGBT Center, the Davidson.
Oh my goodness,
Valentini.
That's my phone being very silly.
You're at the Davidson Valentini Theater.
I am. That's
at 1125 North McCadden Place, and you're jumping around the calendar. You start June 8th at 4:30 p.m., then you go to June 17th at 8 p.m., June 22nd at 9:30 p.m., June 27th at 6:30 p.m., and Sunday, June 30th at 5:30 p.m. They were worried you get too comfortable at one time.
I wanted to give people variety. So if they're a Monday night person, if they're a Saturday night person, something for everybody.
And the show runs about 45 minutes.
It does, yes. It's a full-blown musical. So I'm singing the whole time with some interesting neurodivergent rambling narrations in between the songs. So there's not much time to clap. There's a lot of time to listen, and then at the end you go, oh, it's ended. I got to clap now. Ah.
Is there a single thematic through line that runs through this?
Well, the thematic through line is both really absurd but very, serious, because it's me talking about my problems with people-pleasing and using it as a metaphor, using the eating blocks as a metaphor. So throughout the whole thing, I'm picking up blocks. I'm literally picking up jingling blocks, as you can hear through my suitcase full of blocks that I've brought. They're actually Jenga blocks.
That's not your radio.
No.
Kringling.
This is not your radio kringling. This is my props that I will be showing on stage. But I pick them up and I pretend to eat them. And throughout the thing, I sing about how painful it is, how much I feel like I put too much on my plate, and the things on my plate are these blocks, but you kind of can see a metaphor throughout. I've been performing this for 3 years, and so I've had maybe 30-plus performances of people say, oh, the blocks, they mean this or they mean that, and I feel like I can see the blocks are, partners that have, been too difficult to deal with, or people's needs that I put above my own, or my own stifled words that I don't let out, so they end up condensing inside me into perfectly shaped little squares.
So you say you've been performing this for a few years.
I have, yeah.
But is this your L.A. debut?
This is my Fringe debut. So I've never taken it to a theater like Fringe has. I've only performed it in backyard, DIY music settings or art warehouses throughout Los Angeles, which has been an incredible way to build the production. I don't think I would have done it if I didn't have low-pressure performances to be able to go, oh, I'll add one more song here, I'll add a few more, strange, funny bits here. Halfway through producing the whole thing, I decided I'd add a very graphic and somewhat disturbing, true, stand-up story about my own butt surgery that I had to go through that I realized needed to be a bigger part of the production, since it's kind of ironic that I had that and also I'm making a story about pooping.
you used the word people-pleasing.
Yes.
When did you first discover this was a problem for you?
Well, I think for a long time it was just how I normally behaved, and reading a room to see what other people were needing more than just being my authentic self and being okay upsetting people. I think it's a very common, problem with growing up as a female and being told that you got to make space for other people. And so I kind of realized it was more of a problem as I realized it was hard to be authentic and keep friendships when I was being so people-pleasing that people didn't know who I really was, or eventually, as time went on, deciding to be more blunt about what my needs were, and then realizing that people who had gotten used to me as a people-pleaser were upset that I was now, saying what I needed. So it's something that I've been going through for a while, and a lot of people who come to my show say that they see that and relate to that, and then also talk about how trauma is in our gut, or our emotions are so tied to our gut. So there's kind of easy and deceptive through line between our own intestinal system and our emotions. When I'm nervous, I have different bodily functions. I don't know what I can say on the radio. How gross I can be.
Now, you've performed this in a few states then, have you not? Or just in California?
I've gone to New York and performed in a different band, but I did play technically at a open mic in New York, but not the full production as it is with 40 Minutes now. Just in California.
So, I take it the production has evolved.
It has. It was initially 15 minutes long, and I had.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I had performed it in my living room and then in a person's backyard, but I had kind of a bunch of songs throughout the years previous to COVID that I knew I loved and was singing to myself for a long time, but didn't know how to structure it into a piece that felt weird enough for me, and I didn't want to just put out an EP. I wanted it to be something beautiful and something absurd that I could feel like it was my voice. Because I've been a helper of other people's projects, and that's taught me a lot. I've been production designer for people's projects and prop makers, and I'm come from a visual artist background, so I've done a lot of polishing other people's projects. But now I realize I need a project for myself, or else I'll just be mad at the end of every project that I didn't get to voice my own voice. But yeah, I realized actually during COVID that I had enough time to work on a project and hone my voice a little better, and had a lot of time to play around musically. And so I put together these pieces, and I'm a fan and a member of the LA clown community. And so there's several clowns that really helped me by giving me a little bit of a leg up and giving me performances. Dean Evans is a really big one. Taylor Mendoza is a really big one, who have, given me a little bit of an easy performance space. So I could decide I'll just put something together. And then I put together a really early version of Rectangles and was I don't even know why I really chose Rectangles. I think I chose them because their blocks were so easily accessible, and I could just shove them through a butthole puppet that I had made for a different project. So I then was I have Rectangles now as a song. I might as well continue with it.
Is the music all original music?
It is all original music. I do have one sneaky cover in there that I rewrote all the lyrics to, but I wrote all the music myself. And Cleo Henman, Dependable Son on Instagram, is my co-producer, recorder, mixer, and who's helped be an incredible bouncing board for me to play.
So whatever is accompanying you is pre-recorded.
It is, yes.
Right. So, did you start out originally just to be a singer?
Well, I actually always wanted to be a singer. I was in talent shows a lot when I was young. I'd always looked at myself like a big ol', singing as my core. And I kind of got scared to choose that as my profession, so I went into visual art and sculpture. Got a sculpture degree, so a lot of the elements in my in Rectangles are very visually compelling and visually thick and rich. because I have such a, history with making miniature props for stop motion commercials. And right now I'm a doll stylist working with Mattel. So I do make the hair look nice and I pose the dolls.
Dolls are big right now.
Dolls are big, right?
Since Barbie.
Yeah, since Barbie came out. I love the Barbie movie. But I'm a big toy fan since I was an only child. I spent a lot of time playing with toys, and you can tell in my musical.
Where did you study?
I studied at Cal State Fullerton.
Oh.
Yeah. I got a sculpture degree there. It was really nice because we had, a wood shop, so I could get really, grungy and, learn to cut things and not be afraid of power tools. And we had a metal foundry, so I got to pour aluminum hot metal into plaster casts of, sculptures that I made. So I really liked the idea of, getting my hands dirty.
Huh. When you started singing, did you ever sing with a band?
Yeah, I've sung with several bands. One of them is Smiling Beth. Another was Ember Night. And that was really important to feel like I'd gotten my sea legs, of on stage and to watch other people perform and be brave. I don't think I could have done what I did without watching other people do it first in front of me.
You never got with a rock band, no?
Smiling Beth is kind of a rock band. The other one's kind of they're like folky bands, but not a pure rock band. I've never been on tour and had roadies or anything like that.
Yeah, I've done that. It's having roadies is an experience.
I bet.
I have to let everyone know they are been listening to Maddie Forrest, otherwise known as Maddie Mutations on stage. And her show, Rectangles, is currently about to be scheduled to start at the upcoming Hollywood Fringe Festival. It begins Saturday, June 8th at 4:30 p.m., June 17th at 8 p.m., June 22nd at 9:30 p.m., June 27th at 6:30 p.m., June 30th at 5:30 p.m. You must keep an accurate calendar.
Thank you. You can also go to MaddieMutations.com to have easier access to that, too.
Well, I know how the Fringe Festival works. Mm-hmm. You have little time to get on, and you have to get off quickly.
Yes.
Do you have a lot of props that you use?
No, I don't have too many props, and the LGBT Center is pretty flexible and convenient compared to some of the venues that have way more shows going on, so I'm a little lucky there. They got a courtyard, which is going to be nice to hang out in. But I mostly have a bunch of blocks, and usually people are very kind after my shows and help to pick them up and bring them back. I'm sometimes worried they're going to steal them, but usually people bring them.
You don't throw them at the audience.
I'm very tempted to throw them at the audience. I drop them in front of them, and I was contemplating making some foam blocks to throw at people and maybe some edible blocks since I'm supposed to be eating them, but currently it's a little metaphorical.
Well, now once you complete this interesting run at the Hollywood Fringe Festival, do you have plans to go on other places?
Well, I'll just keep performing it around DIY music venues, and my dream would be to have this develop into like a Netflix show kind of thing, because I have so many visual ideas for it, and I'm making a projected kind of video behind me. I'd love to tour it to other festivals. There's some Fringe Awards that I'm going to be applying for that could take me to Australia or Denver. So I'm really looking for this to be something that I invest many years into.
If you ever get a chance to go to the Edinburgh Fringe.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I was.
Oh, yeah. I'm definitely going to do that at some point.
I wish you had pre-records of your voice. I would like to hear it.
Oh, I can sing a little bit right now.
That would be good.
Yeah, sure. There's several songs. Some of them are very punk and absurd, and some of them are very soft and sad. And my face is painted with crying tears because I'm a very sad clown at some points in this musical. So this song's I'll just do a few snippets. This one's called Sorry I'm Not Nice Anymore. I'm sorry I'm not nice anymore. I'm sorry, my friends, that you won't talk to me. Sorry, I'm not nice anymore. I'm sorry, my friend, that you won't talk to me. Sorry, I'm not nice anymore. I got tired of that, yeah. I got so bored. I'm sorry I'm not nice anymore. I held your hand too long, so screw me. Scrunch! Scrunch my haunch! That's another song. I don't know if I'm not supposed to curse. Was that a curse?
I think we can get away with that. So you're following a pre-recorded score.
I am, yes.
So how many songs do you do in the show?
Ooh, a lot of them are really small songs, and some of them are like just a couple seconds even. I like to like vary it up. I bet there's 10. I bet there's like 10 songs, yeah.
When you first started doing this full-length 45 minutes in front of people, were you surprised where the laughs were and weren't?
Oh, that's a good question. I was surprised, and every audience is different, so sometimes people don't laugh at all, and I worry that they're not getting it, but in the end, they just say that they were so captivated they didn't laugh. And then at my last show, which was a really lovely experience, there was an audience member who came up to me and said they loved it, it was moving, but that they didn't know if they should laugh, didn't know if they were supposed to laugh. So they said they actually left the room to laugh outside and then came back in when they were done laughing, which to me, I was like on stage going, nobody's laughing, I'm talking about poop over here. But in the end, I think that it's like a weird juxtaposition I'm setting up of something that's so silly and so absurd and yet so dramatic and sad and sincere that people are kind of confused sometimes whether they should be audibly laughing. And I've been at productions like that too, where I'm like, this is silly, but I don't know if I should because it's performance art. But it's definitely something they should be maybe laughing and crying throughout the piece whenever they want to. I want a loud audience. I want to scream and cry.
Have you ever thought of expanding this into a full theatrical production?
Oh, that's a good question, and I would love to, but honestly, the thing that stops me is myself because I'm bad at collaborating, or I'm good at collaborating with other people, but I'm bad at asking for help, which is, a people-pleasing behavior thing. But I'm definitely bad at asking people to jump onto my projects.
And you don't want anyone else to direct you?
I actually have had a good experience recently of someone directing me. Sophia Clary is a really beautiful performance artist, and she helped direct me at a rehearsal class that I was doing that everyone showed their pieces and got feedback. And she really gave a lot of interesting comments, and it kind of opened me up to the concept of being directed. And I asked another clown, David Gordeski, to come up and help give some notes and stuff, and he gave a lot of interesting insights. So I'm not entirely a control freak and precious about people's opinions or a director coming in. But currently, I'm just flying solo lone wolf behavior.
I have to remind you, this is Julio Martinez, Arts in Review, and so far my solo guest is being solo here. This is Maddie, Maddie Herman.
You're combining me and my producer's name.
Maddie Forrest. I'm looking too fast down the line. But you go on stage by Maddie Mutations.
Yes.
So have you been able to take this on TV?
Ooh, I have not been able to take it on TV yet. It hasn't been a guest on any little things, but I've done it as variety show combinations on stage, but not on TV yet. But if any TV people talk and listen to this, let me talk. I'd very much be interested in expanding this in some visual capacity.
Well, as an actress, have you worked on television or film?
Well, technically, I've been a hand actress because I spent a long time being a child hand model.
Oh, really?
Yes, which involved me kind of being a puppeteer for Barbie. Like one of the series was Barbie Live in the Dream House, which was initially an animated show, but then they wanted to recreate it with the toys. So they built all the sets, and we held the dolls and acted them. So I don't think I've had my face on TV, but my hands have been, and they've been very emotive.
So I have to let Donna know that my second guest is here. She's in the building. So I believe she'll be coming up and trying to find me. So my second guest is, I have to find this again. I'll read my notes. There she is. This is Persian British actress Melinda Farahani, who's doing the one-person show, The Godmother, inspired by the life of Griselda Blanco, who was very notorious in the late 70s up till about 2012 when I think she was shot. She was in the drug trade in Colombia. And this is the story of how she got there. And that's perfect timing because she has arrived. And hi.
Hi.
There's
Thank
the mic.
you so much for having me. Hi.
We segued beautifully into that.
I love that. Thank you so much.
So, you have met Melina. You have met Melina? No,
I'm Melina.
Yeah.
Yes, we have met previously on many Fringe networking
yes.
events.
Yes. So, I'm sorry about the traffic.
I'm so sorry. I'm terrible with LA roads, and I came all the way from Ventura, but besides the point, I am here now, and thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Now, you're doing a story about a woman who I know about, Griselda Blanco.
Exactly.
From Colombia.
Exactly.
Who did not grow up in the drug trade. She's kind of inherited it.
Exactly. She was very, very poor growing up. I mean, she's the one who actually got Pablo Escobar into drug back when she was making $80 million a month and being a drug lord. Pablo Escobar was stealing from cemeteries, from people who were buried and stealing their jewelry and their tombstones and reselling them. So then he started working for her, but she's the one who invented the paths and became one of the wealthiest women.
So you're now this show that you're doing, are you premiering it at the Hollywood Fringe Festival?
Yeah, so I have 3 shows. And it's my second time doing it in a theater, but this version of it now for Fringe is actually longer. I only did a 15-minute version of it previously.
This one runs 30 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
And you're doing 3 performances. You're previewing it June 8th at 9:15 p.m., then performing June 16th at 4:45 p.m., and then finally June 28th at 8 p.m.
Yes, yes.
Do you have any plans to expand it into a full theater piece?
I would love to take it to, I heard you were doing it Edinburgh Fringe. I would love to take it to Edinburgh Fringe. I think it deserves to be seen. I just think it's such an incredible story, especially for a woman to have accomplished everything that she has. I know she did many, many terrible things, but she justifies it in love, and she did it because she had to survive and she had to provide for her family. So everything she's done, in a way, I find it very warrior-like.
So I'm wildly curious how a British Persian actress discovers a crime lord from Colombia.
I know. I've always been very into the Latin culture. I love salsa and I love dancing, and I've always listened to that kind of music. And so I don't know what inspired me. I guess I think it was more the women in her and the mother in her that I saw that was very inspiring, because a lot of her fighter instinct, I think, comes from my mom, and I think that's what drew me to her initially. So that's what I really admired about her.
Huh. Now, you're doing 3 performances at the Fringe. Do you have plans to continue with this?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love to take it to Edinburgh Fringe and maybe make it longer, or, yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, but we're in the last 2 minutes.
Yes, of
sort
course.
of wrapping up. But I want to reiterate that both these productions start at the Hollywood Fringe Festival. So I have to ask you, Melina, if someone wants to see it, how would they go about that?
So you can get tickets online from the Hollywood Fringe website, and that's how you'll see it. And I'm doing it at the Stephanie Fury Theater in Los Angeles. Yeah, for more information, please get the tickets. I also have discount codes for you guys. It's a pay what you can, and the discount code is Patrones. So it's Patrones.
And Maddie, how would people get tickets to see your show?
Ooh, similarly on the Fringe website, or going and just Googling the words that are in my production, like Maddie Mutations, MADDIE, and rectangles. And if you want, I got a promo code too, actually. It's Poo, P-O-O, me, M-E.
You're bound to get us thrown off the air. Go.
I'm sorry. No one gave me a primer of what I shouldn't say.
That's okay. Go ahead. That's it?
Oh, that's it, yes.
Poo me.
Poo me, yeah.
Okay. I want to thank you all. Arts in Review comes to you every Friday at 2 p.m. I'm followed by Pacifica Performance Showcase, hosted by my producer, Donna Walker. And her guest today is Theo Pinglis, the author of who's going to discuss his memoir cookbook, Seducing Celebrities, One Meal at a Time. So please stay tuned to Arts in Review and Pacifica Performance Showcase. We are the Arts and Culture Hour at KPFK every Friday. And thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next week.